Hey, fourth grade, happy week before vacation. I've got two songs I want to work on with you guys today. Just like before we did Aura Lee, which was kind of a refresher, we're going to do another older one we did in class that we just want to make sure we keep the rust off of. So we're looking at page 12, Eighth Note Rock. And I'll remind you again, sorry if this is getting old, that if you don't have your book at home with you, you can pull it up off this Google site and just read it on the computer. That's what I'm doing right now. So Eighth Note Rock uses, we're going to start off with the note D, and if you don't remember how to play that, it's the second finger on the second hole at the top. And then we have the bottom, the thumb stays off of that hole, okay? And it sounds like this. Okay? Now the first two measures are all D, and we got a measure of 4 quarter notes, and then we've got a measure that kind of alternates some eighth notes in there. So measure 2 is going to go eighth notes, quarter note, eighth notes, quarter note, or usually we'll say it like do-day-do, do-day-do, okay? So this is what our first two measures sound like. Okay, after that we move down to C, and the only thing we do to switch from D to C is we just put the thumb over the hole on the bottom, okay? So thumb on the bottom and middle finger on that second hole down. And this one is going to use, it's pretty similar, we just put the eighth notes in a different order. So we start with 4 quarter notes, do, 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 and then we have our eighth notes right up front, and then 2 quarter notes at the end. Do-day, do-day, do, do, and that'll sound like this. This is measures 3 and 4 on C, on that third space C. Okay, now the whole bottom line is all G, but we're still going to do this just a set of measures at a time. G is thumb on the bottom, 3 fingers on the top, and the first measure that we're looking at, first two measures, is actually a copy of what we did on D. It's going to be 4 quarter notes, and then it's going to be eighth note, quarter, do-day-do, do-day-do. If it looks different, it's just because G is on the second line, it's lower down on the staff, so we write the notes right side up rather than upside down. But the first two measures start like this. Okay, blowing nice and softly, whispering 2 into there. The last little bit, we have in measure 3 on the bottom line of Eighth Note Rock, we have 4 eighth notes, and then we have a half rest. That thing that looks like a hat sitting on top means 2 beats of silence. So it's going to go do-day, rest, rest. Okay? Now, obviously, you don't have to hold your hands out when you're playing recorder. You just kind of want to count those 2 beats in your head. You can count them as 3, 4 because they're beats 3 and 4 in the measure. So kind of like this. 3, 4. Okay, and the last bit is the easiest. It's just a whole note on the second line on G, and you just hold it for 4 beats. So if we tack all of that together, it's going to sound like this, starting with D. Three, 4, and we hold that for 4 beats. That's it. All right, let's move on to page 17, I think. Yeah, 17. All right, so we took a look at this last time, basically just to kind of look at how F sharp would figure into our songs. We mentioned key signatures. That's when we have a sharp, that thing that looks like a hashtag, show up between the treble clef and the time signature, like you can see at the top of that page. Instead of writing a sharp in front of every single note that's going to be sharped, we put 1 at the beginning. It's on that 5th line. Every good burger deserves fries, okay? So the F line, and it tells us that every single F, whether it's on that 5th line or whether it's in the first space, is going to be the sharp version, okay? Now, most of the notes that we have in measure 1 here, you guys already know how to play. Half the notes are G, and we just went over that. The other one that is an old note that we didn't go over yet today is A. That's going to be thumb on the bottom, 2 fingers on the top. And then, of course, there's F sharp, okay? F sharp is going to be, leave this one open, okay? And then we come in with the middle finger on the second one down, and then the ring finger after that. So this is the position for F sharp, and thumb is down on the bottom. So 1, 2, 3 in the left hand, 2, 3. Okay, if we're numbering our fingers, here's 1, here's 2, 3, 4. We're going to use fingers 2 and 3 to cover those 2 holes. And you want to give it just kind of a quick test before you try and play the song. Okay, so the very first measure is going to go G, F sharp, G, A. I'm going to have those right hand fingers just hovering right above those holes, ready to go down. And then the next measure over is just 2 longer Bs, half notes, so we're going to give them 2 beats each. Now, here's the fingering for B, but that's something we went over in like October. Pretty sure you guys all have that down. The next measure we have is going to be A in the second space, G on the second line, A in the second space, B on the third line, landing back on G. Those are all notes we've gone over in just the last few minutes, okay? So if we're starting on measure 3 in this song, it's going to sound like this. And then we cut out at the half rest, leave it 2 beats of silence. Basically just give us a chance to take a big deep breath before we go into line 2. And line 2 is going to use kind of the same melody contour. That means that if we were to play connect the dots with these notes, the line would kind of move in the same way. When we play the first line, it's going to go G, F sharp, G, A, B, B. This one is going to start on B, third line, and it's still going to move in the same direction. It goes down a little bit and then it starts climbing up. But it's going to use different pitches. So instead of starting on G, this time we're starting on B. It's going to go B, down to A, back to B, and then C, okay? All these notes are still using thumb on the bottom. So B, A, B, C. And then our big landing spot, instead of being 2 longer Bs, it's 2 longer Ds. Now we're coming out of C, so all we have to do is slide that thumb so it's not covering the hole anymore. We got B, A, B, C, D, D. This is what that's going to sound like. And our kind of landing spot here is C, B, C, D, and then kind of a big drop to G at the end. Only the 1 F sharp in this, okay? So you do need to practice being able to drop those 2 fingers into place, but once you do it the first time, you're actually in pretty good shape, okay? So here are the last 2 measures, C, B, C, D, and landing on G. Okay, so I'm going to play this one more time, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a count off. So what you can do is you can listen the first time, just kind of figure out exactly what's going on, watch my fingerings, and then you can rewind me a little bit, and you can use the count off to try and play this with me after you've looked at it a little bit, after you start feeling good about it. So remember, at the very beginning, I'm setting up my right hand so that I can drop it down into F sharp. Forgot your count off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Three, 4. Ooh, I'm gonna try that one again. Second line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right, guys. Work hard on that. Have some fun. See you after vacation.